Hi, welcome. This is Kristen Crabtree with the Lance Edwards Group. We have a special treat today. We're interviewing a new apartment champion who is here to share his story about how he closed on his first multifamily deal since getting started with Lance's system. Please help me welcome Damon.
Hello.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to start with talking about just sort of the nitty-gritty details about Damon's first deal. And then we'll get into a lot of other interesting stuff about the process. So his first deal was a 10-unit apartment. He did have some prior real estate investment experience. He got started in real estate because of a book he read called Quit Your Job in 19 Weeks or Less, and it's by Sean Terry. His profit strategy in the beginning was wholesale. In the beginning with Lance's system. His first deal was located in Oklahoma City, and he's in Kansas City, Missouri. He found the deal on LoopNet and spoke with the owner directly. He liked that the seller's price was negotiable and that he was willing to close on more than one of his properties. He did not put any of his own money into the deal. And the property did need work, and his earnings from that first deal was $25,000.
Yes.
So did I hit all the bullet points, Damon?
Most definitely. Right on point.
Awesome. Okay. So before we get started, share with me a little about your personal and professional background.
Okay. I would just state, I would start at, before coming into real estate, I was previously a firefighter EMT. Started out as a firefighter EMT, and then like you said, read the book by Sean Terry, Quit Your Job in 19 Weeks or Less, along with Rich Dad Poor Dad. But those two books kind of changed my life, changed the dynamics of things for me. I knew that I wanted to go into business, but not really knowing which business. But of course, I jumped into real estate, and it's been life changing for me. Going on to close on multiple wholesale deals, going on to, write my own book, going on to teach others in regards to, real estate and things like that, or how to wholesale just at a basic level. And then open the door for just plenty more opportunities like Lance Edwards class, getting more learning, getting more training. Of course, I'm a father of 5. And a husband. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Okay. So that's something that I didn't know about from your interview with Lance. So that's interesting. 5. You don't look old enough to have 5 kids.
I'm not. I'm 34 years old.
Wow.
4 years old.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations on all those kids and the wife. And also really appreciate your first responder service. I know how challenging that field can be.
Man.
Thank you.
Man, I that's why I say that I'm so grateful for real estate. Being at the fire department, getting those calls 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning from waking up from a bell, regardless if it's fire or medical. It becomes stressful on firefighters at some point. Some people love to do it. Some people are not really built for it or made for it. I just knew I wanted something different for my family. So here I am.
That's great. Okay, super. So why did you start researching and pursuing multifamily investing?
It just seemed more lucrative at the time, before all of this market change and things like that. When I was younger, my stepdad, I've seen him purchase a cheap property, fix it up from nothing. From there, that's when I thought that I wanted to do it, but got away from it. Just doing other things, working from job to job. But of course, like I stated, reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Quit Your Job in 19 Weeks or Less, it seemed like I said, it was something that was more lucrative and something more passive, residual. And I've heard a lot of, I think I've heard a lot of investors, regardless if it's stocks and bonds and all those type of things, it felt like it was the safest type of investing that there is. You have an actual asset, something that's, what's the word I'm looking for? That's not attainable. I forget the word that I'm looking.
Tangible? It's tangible.
Tangible. I'm
Okay.
looking. Yeah, it just seemed like something that was more tangible. So that's like I said, I jumped into it, and it's proved me right from what people say and things like that.
I know from what I learned about you from the interview with Lance, you have done single family
Yes.
residential investing prior to working with Lance. So tell me a little bit about, how many you did, how long you've been doing it, that type of thing.
Wow, the number I've done, I can't even tell you, but um, I started out, I would say in 2017 is when I closed my first deal. I closed my first wholesale deal in 2017. I made a profit of $2,000, which I had to split that $2,000 three ways because I had to find help from other investors. And I actually found that first deal in the same neighborhood that I grew up in, just starting, from a simple skill called driving for dollars, finding distress in vacant properties. And like I said, made $2,000 on that deal. And from there, I actually jumped out of real estate in the year 2018 because thinking that I was knowing what I was doing, not really having all the answers and things like that, or the experience after closing that one deal, I ended up getting sued by a lady that was trying to wholesale her home. So I'm working at the fire department, missed the court date, and they granted her $5,000. So it's a long story behind that, but I jumped out of it, didn't want to do it anymore. I seen a friend in that year of 2018, 2019, he was doing it, a guy that I grew up with, and he let me hop on the train with him, and it's just been rolling ever since. So I've closed multiple deals, done lease options, and things like that pertaining to wholesaling.
Okay. So was all of your single family residence investing wholesaling, or did you do any buy and hold or fix and flips or anything else?
They were all wholesaling except for the one that I leased option, which I put a tenant in place. The owner actually let me sublease it to one of my tenants, to multiple tenants, because people kept moving in and out. So that was only one that I did. And then in between there, I still did not fix and flips on my own, but helping my current partner now, helping him do fix and flips in and out of his properties that he obtained through single family. So, I did a lot of the contracting work and construction and repairs and things like small repairs and things like that.
Okay. Let me just make one note. Something I want to ask you later. It's
Yes.
time for it. So, so what are you trying to solve through real estate investing? And you can, take the answer all the way back to like when you got into it with single family.
You said repeat that question again.
Sure. What are you trying to solve?
My overall goal is, outside of looking at things for myself, my main goal is always been to help the person who's selling the property, becoming a problem solver for them. But also, when we jump back to myself, I'm looking to build generational wealth. If I could start over, I would have kept the majority of those properties that I wholesale, regardless if they were rentals or fix and flips. That way, like I said, for my family, when you look back on the generational wealth, okay, when I pass or grow old and can't take care of myself anymore, now my children and their children have something left behind for them. So I would retrace those steps if I could. Now I'm in position to know, okay, Damon, this is what you need to do. But to go back, man, I'm talking about wholesale deals, getting properties under contract at $500, and having to wholesale is just like, man, at that time I didn't have $500 to hold this property. So things like that, just a learning lesson.
How much money would you guess that you've made through wholesale deals?
From then all the way up to now, I probably made at least, oh goodness, I would say, to be conservative, I would say at least 100K in just wholesale deals, maybe more. I made about six figures in wholesaling.
Awesome. And what was your financial situation like before you started wholesaling? Before you
Oh, I
started?
was broke. I was a broke firefighter. Oh my goodness. And I say that because firefighters don't make a lot of money. So, at the time I was only making $12.05 an hour to risk my life. And like I said, not knowing, because a lot of firefighters in the department always find things to extra to do. Maybe they'll cut grass. They'll start a little side business. They'll cut grass. They'll fix on houses. You have some guys who did chimney cleanings and things like that. So what I was trying to do was to fit in with that. Okay, what is another way to create another stream of income while I'm working here at the fire department? But at that time, I mean, it was hard we couldn't pay rent on time. You have things like child support hitting you and, getting those phone calls, and it makes you feel down, make you, feel bad about yourself or less of yourself. So once I started looking at those things, I knew, okay, there's something that Damon needs to change to, do better for his family, be a better provider for his family. So yeah, I mean, in the beginning, just being broke, the financial situation was horrible.
Okay. And how many years were you a firefighter?
I was a firefighter for 2 years, actually.
Okay. And how did you, did you stop that because you were at a place financially where you could, or like what happened there?
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily being in a place financially where I could, because I wasn't all the way there. If I could go back, I would have done it that way. Hey, man, I made 50K or 100K on this deal. Now I could quit. No, I jumped out because I was looking at people who were doing it and looking at them. It was one thing that always stuck out to me, was saying, man, doing this or doing real estate or doing my own business, I will never go back to having a job again. And I started looking at that, and I realized, doing real estate, and then I started a mobile detailing business that year. I said, man, I'm making, more money doing this on 3 or 4 cars a day or real estate than working a 24-hour shift at the fire department. And I get my freedom. I get to sleep during the night. So I just left. I just up and left.
Awesome. So before I move on to some real estate specific questions, and you don't have to answer anything that I ask, if it doesn't feel right for you.
Yes, ma'am.
I would love to hear a little bit more about, you mentioned child support. I mentioned you looking so young. So
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if you would like to share with us, like when you first became a father and kind of how that all progressed.
Ooh, so I was 18 years old when I first became a father. Then I would say being that young and being a father and trying to figure out, it was stressful, because at that point, not really having anyone to tell me about, multiple streams of income. I was thinking that working, at the time I was working like 3 jobs. So just trying to make sure that it was just him at that time, was taken care of, and really killing myself working 3 jobs just to be a provider. And even though there's steps and there's a process in everything you do, I believe that this way would have been easier years ago, 15 years ago when I had my first child. But during the journey, it's, like I said, being on child support and things like that, it has been stressful. It has been stressful until you figure out what that key thing is that you're good at, that you're great at, what your gift is. And this is just my gift. Once you start operating in your gift, the money just flows. It comes to you. And then you'll be able to take care of those bills, those debts, something as far as child support and your children and things like that. So it's been a journey.
Okay, great. You mentioned 3 jobs. What were those jobs, just out of curiosity?
And I was at 3 jobs at the time. I was working at Target. I was working at Def and Bob, which is a trash company here. I don't know if it's anywhere else, but it's here in Kansas City, Missouri. It's a trash company. And I was working at like Big Lots, the furniture store, the retail store. So I was working those 3 jobs all in one time.
Wow. Okay. You mentioned your gift. So obviously, part of that gift is just being successful, grooving
Yes.
with the real estate investing process. Is there some other way you want to define your gift?
Um, no, not really. I mean, can you elaborate on that? What
Yeah,
you
I,
mean?
I didn't know if so real estate investing is
Mhm.
a skill that you were gifted at.
Yes.
I didn't know if there's like some personality trait that you have discovered in the process of learning that that's your gift, skill wise.
Oh, yeah. I would just say, speaking with people that I've helped within this field, it's just seeing the joy on their face, just the feedback that they give me, just simplifying things for them. I don't have it to the extent as Lance does with small apartments, but I would say in single family, just people coming to me and really giving me that feedback. I think it's more heartwarming to me when I see the joy on their face when they close their first deal. Also with the sellers, I mean, we had a deal where my wife actually helped me on, where it was a single family. It was like a 5 bedroom, and I made 15,000 on it. It wasn't about the money at that point. I was able to help that seller move him and his wife into, a small apartment of their own. Able to help him get a moving crew and things like that. And then him just, stating how much it blessed his life, knowing that, you became a problem solver. He couldn't walk up and down the steps anymore. The house, he was a hoarder. The house was so bad, his wife was getting sick inside the home, and just being able to help them. So that actually at that time, having the money to be able to put a deposit down for him, pay for the moving crew, that was what was warming to me. And I mean, I knew before, but at that moment, I knew this is what I was born to do. This is how, God wants me to move forward in my gift and to help people.
That's fantastic. I want to clarify. I know that you do some teaching around single family residence investing. So the first part of that answer, I think, was oriented towards that. And then the second part was
Gotcha.
oriented. Okay. Just wanted to
Gotcha.
clarify. Sure. Okay, perfect. Okay. So you obviously have sort of a mission around helping others.
Yes.
Do you have a specific goal financial goal that you're looking to achieve?
Yes. And some people may think that this is just crazy based on where I am now, but it's my dream, it's my vision. I'm imagining it. So my overall goal or my financial goal to reach in doing this, I want to make at least $100 million into teaching and investing and teaching people around this nation. That's my overall goal to reach. And then I always break it down yearly. At the top of the year, Damon, you want to make, $100,000 this year. You want to make $500,000 this year. I always break it down.
Fantastic. So about that last part, are there years that you have set a annual goal for yourself that you have achieved it, or where are things with that?
I would say not yet. Every time I set that goal, for the last 2 years, I always have a goal set of, make $100,000 just in real estate this year. And I've come close. But what I've had to write down, I realized, okay, Damon, you're writing it down and you have a goal, but the money comes and goes. So you probably have made that 100,000. Now what I'm putting down is, hey, I want to make $100,000 net income that I could see in my account, hey, that money's just there. But like I said, in and out of things, real estate and still doing mobile detailing, things like that. I've seen the money, 100,000 there, but But that's not my overall goal. My overall goal is to have that in my account.
Yeah, the more precise you can get with your goal, the
Yes, I
yeah.
get very precise with my goals. Okay, this is exactly what I want, you know.
So the 100 million, do you have a year that you've got targeted for that?
I have 5 years. Within
Okay,
5 years. So in 5 years, I'll be 39. 5 years or less, I take that.
fantastic. So we talked about the money. What about like your ultimate dream? We've talked about helping people. Do you have sort of a vision for your ultimate dream?
Oh man, I have a whole list of things. I mean, are we talking about, the type of house I want to live in, type of car I want to drive?
Whatever you want to share.
Oh wow. I mean, wow. Every morning, I get up and I read my list. So, I right now, overall, I know that I want to live in a certain type of subdivision, a certain type of a home with a pool, um, just all these type of things within the home. I know I want to drive a certain type of luxury car. Um, I know I want vacation homes in multiple states, regardless if, I'm Airbnb in them while I'm away from there or going for me and my family to live there. I know I want to, my goal now is to have a private jet. I've been looking into getting my pilot's license. I would like to get that within the next year or so. So a private jet, would like to have, just a small yacht. I'm looking, as I'm talking to you, I'm looking up at my wall now of everything that I have up here. A trip to Fiji. And I don't know if you've seen like where they have in Malaysia, Fiji and things like that. It's like a little hut sitting in the water, vacations like that, just being financially free. So those are some of my overall goals of where I plan on going and what I want to reach.
Awesome. Fantastic. And it's great that you shared with us that you do have that up on a board
Oh
and that
yeah,
you paint it.
I'm looking at it right now.
That's
I mean,
good.
I've have it down to the extent where I have a check from my company in my name, written by a certain date that hey, I want to reach this goal. So just things like that. Just playing on my mindset.
Fantastic. So um, I'm asking a question that you may have already answered, but just if there's more that comes up, please share. So in what ways were you hoping that real estate investing would change your life?
Mm. Financially, I'm hoping that it changed my life. Well, in the beginning, hoping that it changed my life financially, and it has. Um, Not just my life, but my children's life. Um, I'm hoping that real estate changes for them. Like I said before, being able to have those assets or those things where I'm like right now, my son, he's 15. In the next 3 years, he's going to be graduating. So when he comes out of high school, being able to say, regardless if you go to college or not, hey, come here, I have this 4-unit apartment building for you. That unit is yours. That unit is the one that you live in. The rest of the building is yours. You collect rents. Being able to do that for each child. So I wanted to change my family financially.
Great. And going back to helping sellers and helping people learn how to do the single family residence investing.
Yes.
Did you recently learn that passion for helping others, or even when you were entrenched with 3 jobs, was that something that you saw in yourself?
I think I've always been this way. I don't think anything has changed in regards to growing up and going through the fire department, anything like that. I've just always had a heart for helping others as far as back as I could think. Um, Regardless if we were in school, regardless if it's family helping them move or something like that, doing something for free, just giving, serving. I've always been like this. I always had a heart for helping others and giving to others.
Great. Where did you get stuck in the process of investing? Like why did you seek help from Lance Edwards?
Wow. Like I told Lance in my interview with him, it wasn't primarily my overall goal to get into multifamily investing. I want to stay with just single family and do single family, but my partner, Jay Jemerson, who, man, I honor and so grateful for him. It was his vision. And, he wants to own, he talks to me all the time about, owning multiple units and all these other things. And once, we got into the course, I started seeing his vision more and more and more. And again, me serving him and helping him, I've grown a liking to it myself. And it has helped through Lance Edwards' course. It has helped us. It helps me because, like I said, I was seeing one side of it. Hey, this is single family over here. You can make this much money. But Lance opened the door for people to see it from a bigger picture. Hey, man, more units brings you more profit and more income. So it's just like, man, like you're right. And it's more passive. It's especially when you get a unit, you're holding it, you're still making that money passively. So it's not just doing a wholesale deal and, okay, I made $5,000 on that. You're going to blow through that 5,000. I mean, it helps you look at things from a bigger picture. I mean, from a millionaire standpoint.
Right. You mentioned in your interview with Lance that you have a recent, I think it has probably closed by now, but a buy and hold.
Yes.
Is that your first one?
It would have been my first buy and hold. That deal actually fell through. It was in St. Louis, Missouri. It was a, what do you call it? Like a seller or a lease option or a seller financing deal. And as I was going through it, this guy wanted more and more stuff for me to do the majority of the work. And I was thinking, I'm like, man, if, I'm not there in St. Louis, it's going to take a lot of work to get this property fixed up and then get tenants in it. I'm not able to look at the property. I really didn't trust any of the property management people that I spoke with, that I interviewed there. So I let the deal go. And then one time as I was talking to him, I was reading through like a scripture and was stating something about, not consuming a stranger's debt. And that thing woke me up and I just pushed away from the deal. So I'm like, I'm not about to consume, his debt and pay off all his past due tax just for that deal. The deal really didn't make sense number wise. But yes, it would have been my first buy and hold.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you have any lessons from that other than what I can extrapolate from what you've said?
Lessons from that particular?
Yeah, lessons.
Not from that one, but I can tell you one after that where I missed out on $15,000 wholesale. The lesson learned from that, and Lance is big on this, and I let those guys control the deal, my end buyers, instead of me controlling the deal and making sure that they put all the money down or have things in a timely manner. I let them control the deal, and I kind of sat back. And with them doing that, and with me doing that, it was as a result of it, I missed out on $15,000. So it made me. It was heartbreaking, but it made me sit back and realize, okay, go through all this again, go through all this training again, go through everything that you have from Lance, regardless of how many deals you close after coming out of his program, go through it again and follow these steps. He has the blueprint. He's not in the position that he's in for no reason. He has the blueprint. Follow this blueprint from someone who's done it and could tell you the truth about it. So right now, and this happened maybe about 4 or 5 months ago, but I'm going through the blueprint all over again and to not let those things happen. So
you mentioned a wife. Has
Yes.
your wife been on the same page as you about getting into investing?
She encourages me. I don't think that is really her thing as far as real estate investing. I would just say, like I said, she encourages me. When I talk to her about my goals and ideal, idea, she'll tell me, hey, I think that's a good idea. But as far as learning on the level that I'm learning on, I don't think that's like her niche. But we have recent talks about Airbnbs, and she is interested in taking the training for that. But I mean, I would say that seeing her in that field, I think that'll be a good gift for a good position for her. But for the main thing is mainly encouraging and being a help.
Great. What obstacles did you face when getting started? And this can be getting started with the apartment, or this could be getting started with the single family residence, however you want to answer it.
Financing was the biggest obstacle, has been the biggest obstacle for me. Finding financing, finding private money lenders, hard money lenders and things like that. So many people want you to bring a certain percentage to the table. And if you don't have that financially, if you don't have that percentage, that down payment to bring to the table, you kind of miss out on that deal. So I've ran into that, and I've held myself back, because once a person tells me, hey, they can't do it, or you have to have a certain credit score, I fall back. So that has been the biggest challenge for me. In the beginning with single family was the buyers. That was the biggest challenge. Everyone who you think is a buyer or states that they're a buyer aren't really buyers. They're other wholesalers trying to get a piece of your deal. So that was the biggest challenge.
And why did you stick with real estate investing when you hit these hurdles?
Like I said before, is just in the past, just closing on those deals, I believe it was more lucrative. It just made more sense. It gave me more, it was more of a comfort, and it just felt like more freedom. And like I said, I mean, you don't have that overhead of, having that boss or manager or supervisor, or a company or business, that you work for down your throat in regards to, getting a job done in a particular time. Like I said, it was more freedom, not waking up to a bell in the middle of the night, compared to, okay, I can wake up the next morning, go to my computer in my room, find a deal, get in the car and drive around, find a deal, and make money doing that.
So having the vision that you have be so strong is what allowed you to overcome the hurdles.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
I just want to make sure I'm not putting words in your mouth. So
no, you're not. You're not.
Okay. Awesome. So you have shared some ways that real estate has impacted other parts of your life. Is there any other things that you want to add to that?
No, not really.
Okay.
Not really.
And how would you say your current financial situation has changed as compared to when you started?
I'll come to that. But
Okay.
You said, I'm sorry, I do have something for the last question. Just thought of something. It has opened up the doors to just bigger opportunities to speak and to meet more people who are willing to help you. So I love that part of it, that that real estate gave me. It was just an open door to meet more people.
Great. And how has your financial situation changed as compared to when you started?
Compared to when I started, make more money now. I don't have to penny pinch anymore. I don't have to scratch and claw for those small deals, compared to, something that's, like I said, again, I know that's a word, but more lucrative, or more, just more income. That's how it changed my life financially. I'm not going to say but we're able to vacation more. I'm able to, take care of my family, take care of my children and their needs. And that's how it has helped my life financially.
Okay. What did you hope would happen that hasn't?
Wow. And the current situation with, multifamily after coming out of Lance's class.
Sure. You can answer either way.
Yeah, I with coming out of Lester's class, because it hasn't been that long for me, but coming out of his course and the program or the coaching, I was hoping to have at least by now of my own, at least 10 units of my own. That has not happened yet. Um, but it will. It will.
When did you graduate, so to speak, from from his program?
Ooh, it was April of 21.
April of 21.
It was
Okay.
April of 21. Yes. So, and then we took so we graduated, I came out of the boot camp in April. And I think we right after that we did the coaching. So I think the coaching just ended oh, goodness. The beginning of 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, my coach was Bob Thornton. Great coach, great coach.
Great. And what has happened in this process that surprised you?
Like closing on my first deal, everything that, just following Lance's steps and seeing that it worked. I think a lot of times people who sign up, or I would say, if you were ever in my position, you're looking at it like, oh man, this class costs X amount of dollars. Like, man, sometimes I would say from the past, sometimes you think people are trying to get over, or you think, this stuff doesn't work. But I think that was the big surprise for me is, okay, I'm gonna be diligent, I'm gonna be disciplined, go through the course, do everything that he says and go through these steps. And it actually worked. Using the script, talking to the brokers, it worked. All right, saying these type of things to the sellers and the owners of the property, it works. Going through the certain type of title companies and putting these things in order. Hey, you have to have $10,000 down to get in on this deal, as an end buyer, and they wire the money. Those things work. So yeah, that surprised me. I'm gonna be totally transparent and honest. It surprised me.
Great. So what excites you about the future and the possibilities that it holds?
Reaching those goals, knowing that, of course, looking at my wall, knowing that things that I've spoken and said and played onto my mindset, the things that I've talked about in the past I'm looking at them now, but, knowing that, what I say and what I speak is going to come to pass. So, that excites me about the future, being, like I said, having that true financial freedom, just having money come in passively. I'm talking about mailbox money and things like that. Owning multiple properties, being to vacation to those islands we've never seen, places my wife and I have never seen. That excites me. The biggest thing that excites me also is having something and leaving something behind for my children, setting a standard and truly building that generational wealth where my children and their children to come don't have to worry about anything, and keeping the family business going.
Nice. What strengths do you possess that you feel may have made this endeavor easier for you?
I would say listening. um, Listening to the right people. Because I mean, you could get around people who are telling you the wrong things to do, and then you start following their path. But someone who has a vision and you're listening to them and you're seeing it work in their lives. So that would be my strength, listening to the right people and seeing others' paths and being a follower. Growing up, parents always tell you, man, stop being a follower, be a leader. Well, how can I do that unless I follow someone who's already great? So that would be my biggest strength.
And what personal characteristics worked against you in the beginning?
Mm, wow, that's a tough one. I don't know how to answer. Fear,
Okay.
fear, just being fearful. But the main thing, not being able to break through that terror barrier, just man, going back to that familiar state or that being comfortable. Those were some things, I was going back to the familiar instead of breaking through that terror barrier and really elevating, going to the next level. But overall things, fear is what held me back in the beginning.
And what has changed about who you are since you started down this path? In what ways do you think this process has made you a different person?
I would say that it makes me more helpful. Just being more helpful. I haven't, some people, one thing that I listened to a man, he stated, they say, people say money changes a person, or they, a person like money changed you. The money or things that you do make you more of who you already were. And I say that, like I said, just doing this process, it only made me more helpful, made me want to give more and help people more. So that's what changed about me, just being more of what I already was.
So on that same vein, did you discover anything about yourself that surprised you?
That I could do it. I mean, yeah, that I'm capable of doing a thing. Um, like I said, growing up, I think where I'm from, I can't speak for everyone, but where I'm from, when you live a certain type of way, people tell you what you can't do. And that plays on your mental, that plays on your mindset. So you don't truly believe, like you think you believe, but you don't truly believe, and you start feeding into their habits or what you've seen growing up. But once my mindset changed, I had the paradigm shift. Um, I just surprised myself again of what I was capable of. Man, hey, I could close on a 10-unit apartment building. What else can I do? Like, man, I actually did it. So it gave me more of a sense of, man, what else can I do?
And you mentioned at the very beginning that you're writing a book. Do you want to talk about that at all?
I've already wrote it. I wrote it during the pandemic, the beginning of the pandemic. So that was what, 2020, going into 2020. So it's called Getting a Better Focus, the basics of wholesaling houses with little to no money down. And it's just it's basic principles of how I started in single family, and how people can use these same principles regardless if it's yellow letters, writing direct mailers, driving for dollars, hanging out bandit signs and things like that, how they could get started without using any of their own money to jump into real estate. Because the biggest thing was, like I said, growing up, I always thought, though, we were always taught that you got to have some money to jump in real estate. It's like, no, you don't. Once I found that out, I took those same principles of everything that I learned during the process, put it in a book, put it on Amazon and all other ebook platforms.
So you've told me components of the answer to this question. I want you to imagine yourself 5 years from now. How has your life changed? And you've told me some things. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, that's it. That's pretty much it. That's who I want to become. That's where I see myself. That's where I see my life. Of course, again, like I said, just being more helpful. I think 5 years from now, I could see myself on stage in multiple places, not at one, of course, but traveling throughout the nation from city to city, teaching people these principles, teaching people how to get to the point where I'm at that time, how to become successful, financially free, and how to invest in real estate. I see that 5 years from now.
Great. Is there any other advice that you have to offer to others?
Just go for it. Stop thinking about it. Stop second guessing. Go for it. Jump in it. If you're thinking about getting in Lance Edwards' class and trying to learn multifamily, the boot camp is cheap. But when you think about the coaching, jump in and get the coaching. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be so helpful for you. You have someone who is accountable, who's accountable for you. And that's going to make sure that you reach those goals. But it only works if you work it.
Fantastic. Well, Lance Edwards, this is Kristen Crabtree. Please join us again when we interview our next department champion. If you'd like to learn how you could be our next department champion, please call our office at 281-667-3638. You're only one deal away.